Well, I'm now joined by Veronique Laury, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Kingfisher. Veronique, thanks very much indeed for joining us. You've
my pleasure.
just come off the main stage, addressing the World Retail Congress.
Yeah.
You can have a breath. Veronique, you've gone through in the middle of an amazing transformation process at Kingfisher.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people watching who are going through their own transformation projects, maybe thinking about a radical change in the business model to be able to cope with the challenges ahead. From your experience so far, what would you say the key learnings are?
It's hard. That's probably a key learning. I think you need to be bold. I think you need to be brave as well. I think the important thing is you really need, and it's a little bit kind of, everybody is saying that, but to be really customer driven, which actually seems almost evident, but I don't think it is, because the customer is changing so fast to really stick to this.
And I think that's the thing that many people feel strange, because retailing in its very essence has always been about understanding the customer. So what is it now?
I'm not so sure actually. I think if you think of, I think the retail has been more about bringing product at, I'm talking mass retail, you know, I'm not talking about luxury retail, I'm talking about people who are doing for the many people. I think the whole point has been to bring the product in front to the customer with low prices. And actually, a lot of the model was about self-serve, making the customer doing stuff themselves, because actually the customer didn't mind to do it. And I think this is the big shift. Now, because of the digital and because of the growth of Amazon or Alibaba, people don't want to do the work themselves. So you need to rethink your economic model to reach that to the customer.
So do you think retail has been victims of their own work, in a sense, spending too long on the back-end supply chain and not enough on
I'm not so sure, because I think the supply chain is going to be key in the future, but it's a different supply chain. No, I just think that the customer have been changing, and that probably, because actually that's what I said on the stage, the digital business, they're creating their model from scratch. So they set their P&L, if I can say, like the business model on that new basis. What we have to do is to take what we have, and we are big businesses, we do a lot of turnover, and we employ many people, and we have to change this to a new model, which is in a way, without being disrespectful of the digital people, actually, that's the contrary, but this is more difficult, because you start with something that you have to transform.
I mean, my analogy, it's like flying a 747 at sort of 20,000 feet and changing the engine at the same time.
Exactly, and this is funny you're using, because I have a Chief Transformation Officer, Steve Willett, who is working with me, and this is exactly what the image that he said. He said, we are flying, we are a big plane, and we are changing the engine as we fly. This is what we do.
So, you said that be bold, it's difficult. What else have you discovered along the journey?
Engaging your people, I think this is key. Because I think you can't, for the reason I was saying, because it's difficult, you can't do this on your own. You have to engage people working in the company and facing the customer, actually, in that journey. People, I think that's exactly what we say when we started 3 years ago. We have the choice. We have the choice to disrupt ourselves or being disrupted. And I think we say we have to disrupt ourselves. But, you know, this is not something natural. So engaging people, bringing your leadership first, and then, you know, the many people working in your shops.
And in that context, what is the role of the Chief Executive Officer in orchestrating that and making it happen?
I think you have really a kind of the two ends of the spectrum. I think you need to be, you know, driving the strategy, because I think you need to define what you are going to do. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you have to really be close to the business and to the people into the business to, you know, share. I don't say explain, because you say explain, it's a little bit kind of people don't understand, which I don't think it's true. I think sometimes I'm seeing people in store, and you know, they are customers, they shop online. People are not stupid. I'm always bet about, you know, what I call collective intelligence. And I think people are not stupid. They shop themselves. They know how the world is going. But I think it's really hard to think that it is going to impact you. And I think it's about sharing, saying we have to change, right? We have to change. Let's do it together. And it will have impact on all of us. But that's it.
And in the context of that, the change, physical versus virtual, are you a great advocate for the physical space, or do you see over time the physical space becoming secondary?
No, I think I'm balanced. I think what is not an obvious one, I think in home improvement, a lot of people have said this is never going to be massively online. You will have a bit with the tool and all of that. Actually, I don't think so. I think that industry as well, like many other, is going to be massively digital. But I think, and I might be proven wrong in 10 years from now. You never know. But
we'll come, in 10 years we'll interview again. We'll find out.
No, but I think that would be a combination. And I think people we are human beings. Customers are human beings. And I think that human being interaction, if it's on the right topic, in the right places, will still be useful to customers, I think.
Clearly one of the roles of the CEO is the interface with investors. Do you think investors, I'm not necessarily talking specifically about Kingfisher investors, but investors in retail are going to have the patience for the change and the impact it's going to have in the short term?
I'm not an investor myself, but as you say, I'm meeting quite a lot of them. I think the answer is it's like for us. Do we have the choice to change? No, we don't. Will they have the choice to be patient? No, they don't. They have to be patient because you don't transform. I don't think anybody has a magic bullet to transform big retails in 2 to 3 years, and then this is my it's just impossible. It takes longer. You have to go fast, but it takes time.
Well, I can't let you go without asking, as a Brit, without asking a question about Brexit. You operate businesses across the world and across Europe, big business in the UK, big business in France. Is Britain coming out of the Eurozone going to impact you? Is this something you have to plan for, or are you just...
we are planning for it. I think it's very difficult because even though we are progressing every week or month, I think there is still a lot that we don't know about where we are going to land. So it's really difficult to plan for something you don't know. But actually, we are planning for. We have teams that are working with whatever external advisor, talking with the government and the European Commission. I think we will have to. As I said, as a leadership, one of my kind of leadership stand is, focus on what you can do something about and forget about what you can't do anything about.
Well, I think that's a great principle. Well, Veronique Laury, thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you've enjoyed this, there's plenty more. All you need to do to make sure that you get the latest videos when they're released is just push this subscribe button to subscribe to our YouTube channel.